Hola! Happy, happy, happy provision series. That's what we're talking about in this series. What do you need? And we're looking at Saul as kind of an example of what do we need. But before we jump into Saul, this is our last episode in this series, here's a joke. I'm not going to say a great joke because none of my jokes are great, obviously. But what season is it when you are on a trampoline? I like trampolines. I grew up with a trampoline. When you're on a trampoline, it is spring. I know, right? This is so stupid. I know. So let's get on with this last episode for the series, What Do You Need? And provision. So we've been looking at Saul, who was the first king of Israel. Read about him in 1 Samuel. And this last episode, I want to talk about the need for truth and integrity. What do you need? Why do you need truth? Why do you need integrity? Well, we're going to look at, it's 1 Samuel 15, verses 1 through 23. And in these verses, Samuel had spoken to Saul, King Saul, and said, God has commanded you to go and destroy the Amalekites. The Amalekites treated the Israelites poorly when the Israelites came out of bondage in Egypt. And so God instructed King Saul to destroy the Amalekites and utterly destroy. I was reading that in the Hebrew and it was like utterly, and to utterly destroy, and it was multiple times throughout those verses. And I was like, wow. And it's destroy the king, destroy the soldiers, destroy the men, destroy the women, destroy the kids, destroy the cattle, utterly destroy. And so that was the directive from Samuel to King Saul. Saul goes and he does the battle with the Amalekites, but he does not utterly destroy everyone, everything. He actually keeps the king alive, King Agag. Why they have these names escapes me. They probably wonder why we call people Bob, right? Something, anyways, cultural. But he does not kill the king, and on top of that, he keeps the best of the sheep, the cattle, the donkey, all the best. And he keeps those and holds them, but does not destroy all of them. Samuel shows up, and Samuel confronts Saul and says, why did you not utterly destroy everything? God told you to do that, and you disobeyed. And it's interesting because Saul answers Samuel and says, I did utterly destroy everything. And Samuel says to him, then what is the sound of sheep and cattle that I hear? I mean, this was a lie. This was deception, and this was a lack of integrity. And because of that lack of integrity, I mean, it really, that cause put into effect all kinds of ripples and effects that were bad, like really bad for Saul. And Samuel confronted Saul and said, you didn't destroy everything. You didn't kill the king. And then Saul tries to justify, well, I kept it so we could make a sacrifice. And this is where Samuel says to Saul, to obey is better than sacrifice. And Samuel refuses to accept the justifications, the distortions, and the reasoning and the rationale, because Samuel is an advocate for truth and integrity. And I bring this to your attention because I think that for each of us, we need truth and integrity. We don't only need it externally, but we also need it on the inside. And I honestly would say to you that you can't really have truth, or if you really need truth, you need to include the Holy Spirit, who is the Spirit of truth, in your daily living. Because I don't know about you, I'm really good at deceiving myself and, trying to do smoke and mirrors. And that's exactly what Saul did. He deceived himself, but he tried to do smoke and mirrors. And it turned out poorly for him. Because ultimately, the kingdom of Israel was ripped away from him. Samuel confronted him. There was no more contact. And it says that God was sorry that he made Saul king. And so I think this whole integrity and truth thing, it's a really significant issue. Because with integrity and truth, that's the place where we come in alignment and agreement with the Holy Spirit. And what Holy Spirit says, Spirit of truth says to us. So the world that we live in, you know, there's a lot of smoke and mirrors, a lot of deceptions, and let's be careful and mindful that we need truth and integrity on the inside, but as well with our external interactions and transactions, conversations. Of course, hit the notification bell right there. And we'll keep you posted with new content. Here's your question to answer here at the end. Put it in the comments. Where in your life are you most vulnerable to deception? You might think you're smarter than you are, or you might think you're not as smart, right? You might think, sometimes we have ideas that are inaccurate. So where in your life are you most vulnerable to deception? Thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, and next week we'll start a brand new series. Thanks.